Welcome to MrKhanMaths. In this video, we will be learning how to divide a decimal by a decimal. I'll be looking at a range of examples and will be using my steps to success to help me get to my final answer. So let's get started. We have example 1, 3.5 divided by 0.5. Now I'm going to use my steps to success to help me get to my answer. So step 1, it wants me to identify the smallest decimal. Now in this question, it doesn't really matter as both my decimals go to the tens column. This then allows me to go on to step 2. I want to get these numbers to whole numbers. So I have to multiply by a power of 10. So I will multiply 0.5 by 10 to get to 5. So therefore, I have to multiply the other side by the same amount. So 3.5 now becomes 35. And that is step 2 complete. Step 3 requires me to rewrite the question. So instead of having 3.5 divided by 0.5, I now have 35 divided by 5. And that is step 3 complete. Step 4 requires me to divide. So I'm going to draw out my bus stop. And on the inside, I will place my dividend of 35. And on the outside, I will place my divisor of 5. I'm going to ask myself how many 5s are there in 3? And the answer is 0. So I'll cross off my 3 and carry it over. And now I'm going to ask myself how many 5s are there in 35? And if you know your times table, it is going to be 7. So the answer to 35 divided by 5 is the same as 3.5 divided by 0.5. And that is 7. Example 2, 5.6 divided by 0.07. I'm going to use the same steps to success to get to my final answer. So I'm going to identify the smaller decimal. Now with 5.6, I can see my decimal goes to the tens column. And with 0.07, I can see that my decimal goes to the hundredths column. So out of the two, I know that 0.07 is the smaller decimal. Now that step 1 is complete, I'm now going to move on to step 2. I want to get my smaller decimal to a whole number. So 0.07, therefore, is going to be multiplied by 100. I'm going to do the same to my remaining decimal. So 5.6 is also going to be multiplied by 100. Now I'm going to move on to step 3, where I'm going to rewrite the question. So 5.6 now becomes 560, and 0.07 becomes 7. So my new question is 560 divided by 7. Now my final step is to divide. So I've got my bus stop, and on the inside, I've got my dividend of 560. And on the outside, I have my divisor of 7. So I'm going to ask myself, how many 7s are there in 5? The answer is 0. So I'll cross my 5 and carry it over. Then I'm going to ask myself, how many 7s are there in 56? And the answer is 8. And then finally, I'm going to ask myself, how many 7s are there in 0? And the answer is 0. So 560 divided by 7 is the same as saying 5.6 divided by 0.07. And the answer is 80. Now moving on to my final example, 0.54 divided by 0.06. First, I'm going to identify the smaller decimal that I have in my question. And in this case, they both go to the place value of the hundredth column. So therefore, I will multiply each decimal by the same power of 10. Moving on to step 2, I need to multiply 0.06 by 100 to get it to a whole number. So therefore, I'm going to multiply 0.54 by 100 to get it to a whole number. So I'm going to now rewrite my question, which is step 3. 0.54 times 100 is 54. 0.06 times 100 is 6. And the question is now 54 divided by 6. Finally, I'm going to do the division. So I have 54 divided by 6. And if you know your 6 times table, 54 divided by 6 is 9. So the answer to 54 divided by 6 is the same for 0.54 divided by 0.06. And the answer is 9. Now, having watched me work through my examples, I'd like you to have a go at some of Mr. Khan's skills check questions to see how you get on. Here are Mr. Khan's skills check questions. Please press pause and have a go at the questions on your screen, and press play when you're ready for the answers to be revealed. Here are the answers to Mr. Khan's skills check questions. Check how you have got on by marking the questions you have done. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye for now and see you again soon.